we decided to do this video. We weren't going to do it first, but we've been getting asked a lot of the same questions about what happened with our daughter Gia. So I thought, let's just go ahead and do a video, post it. Then that way people can watch it and they can have their answers, question that way. Because I understand people are very concerned and they want to know what happened. So, but I just find myself being repetitive with, having to say it over and over every single day. I'll say it next time, hey, just check the video out, it'll tell you everything. So, this happened after the last video that we just posted, which was the kitchen project.
Where are they?
Same day?
Yeah, it's the same day that happened. So you'll even see in the last video with Sidra and Gia in the Walmart shopping cart. So it wasn't that exact moment, but we went back up because we had to get a few more things, for the house. So it was about what time? You're better on time for me.
In the evening, 5 o'clock.
It was in the evening, 5 o'clock. And we pulled in to the parking lot. And we were heading south on the parking lot. And then we parked, that was east. So we parked on the east side of the parking lot. And I got out the van. And Sidra hadn't gotten out yet. Gia got out because they're automatic doors. She just pushed the button and she got out. So knowing that she had just got out of the van, I looked and there was no traffic. So I crossed a little drive area to grab a cart. Particular kind of cart she likes. She likes them,
buggy cars.
Them buggy carts where she can sit in it. So I went ahead and got that, turned around, didn't see any car coming, and then it was weird because the woman was driving so fast because we weren't that far from, the front part of Walmart. So she turned off of that. I didn't even see her though. She turned off of that and had to go from 0 to, 30, 35 in the parking lot. And as soon as Gia yelled "Daddy" and she started to run towards me, she was struck by the car. She was thrown. Fortunately, she was hit from the side of the car because it could have been way worse or fatal if she was hit by the front. But and this part I'm explaining because I'm the one that saw it. She didn't. She was getting out of the van as I already saw it. And it was one of those kind of moments where it was just helpless because no matter how fast I moved, I couldn't prevent it. So Gia was struck, and my heart, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but I felt sick to my stomach when I saw my daughter get struck by the vehicle. And she got flung onto the hood of the vehicle and then to the lower part of the windshield before she got thrown back off to the same side she got struck on, and then it fell face down on the ground. The woman stopped after that, and Sidra rushed to Gia. She had some nursing training, so she checked her first before she even decided to move her, and I was just, I don't know. I don't even know what I was thinking. It was just sheer fear because, to see our daughter on the ground face first, not moving. And the woman got out of the vehicle, and as I'm watching Sidra go through her procedure, I just told the woman, I said, "What were you doing driving that fast in the parking lot?" She proceeded to argue with me and say that she could go what speed she wanted to because it was private property. So other people started to walk up at that time while Sidra was taking care of Gia, who finally started crying and responding, and they started to argue with the woman. And well, not argue. At first they weren't arguing. They were just like, there's a speed limit in the parking lot. And then she was kind of telling them, no, there isn't. then the guy told her to just stop talking to me and stop trying to argue with me because the concern was Gia. Fortunately, we were blessed that there was a hospital right there by the Walmart.
Right beside it, yeah.
So people were already dialing 911, but we were like, it's right here. So just said it's safe to move her. We got her in the van, and we sped to the hospital. There was a lot that occurred at that time. Things that you feel bad about later. I was so high strung, I was yelling at her, and there's nothing either one of us could have done except for because the woman was really close to the back of our van. So, even if Sidra would have been standing there, Sidra would have got hit. So it wasn't like she was like in the middle of the road. She was more to the left, closer to the van. But I'm yelling at her, saying, "How's Gia doing?" And I was just angry and I was scared, is what it was. I wasn't really angry. I was just scared for our daughter because her face was messed up on the side. Her foot was tore up, and it was just really scary. So we got to the hospital. I dropped her off, and you can say that part wasn't really that much.
No, I just walked in carrying her, and I just directly said, I'm like, she just got hit by a car. And the security officer, he had his hand on his gun, and he started to walk out. He's like, right here in this parking lot? I'm like, no, Walmart. So it's like, then he calmed down. And then the receptionist, she's like, okay, we're gonna call the pediatrics. So she made a call. The other one ran and grabbed a wheelchair for me to put Gia in. And Gia is crying. It's like, okay, and then we had to wait for them to let us in. But that's the one good thing they did. Instead, usually when we go to the hospital, they start, okay, let's give you insurance, give you information, let's do this first. But at that hospital, they just started, okay, let's get you in first. But they still had to get a room ready, so we had to wait 5 minutes.
Oh, is that what you were waiting for?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was upset about, because I dropped them
off.
off.
Pediatrics.
Oh, okay. Because I dropped her off, and I came in, and they were still sitting there, and I'm like, what the hell are you still sitting here for?
Yeah, they were waiting for pediatrics. They had to get the room ready for her.
Oh, okay.
So we were at the regular hospital, so not the children's.
Right.
So they had to get stuff ready for her.
So they went through all the procedure, checked her out. And then, of course, they told us that she would have to go to a specialist. I think, though, it was... We didn't sleep for a few days.
We couldn't. She's in pain. She's keep waking us up.
She's in pain, but even when I was sleepy enough, I would get flashes of seeing, Gia hit by the... And I kept telling her I was really upset. I'm like, I can't get... I was mad because I couldn't get it out of my head, seeing my daughter tossed through the air. And even now when I talk about it, even that feeling that I felt, watching, Gia, I don't know, just... It made me feel like helpless. And it made me feel like I'm supposed to protect her, and so there was that guilt.
We failed.
Yeah.
Being a good parent.
Right. So, and it's something that the only way that couldn't happen is if we are super overprotective and we say, you stand right beside me, and we'll probably do that for a while, but it just...
But she's a child. She's not going to listen.
Right. But I still feel, though, regardless, it could have been prevented from the driver's point of view, because even other people were saying it. If she was driving with more common sense and slower in a parking lot, then she wouldn't have struck you.
But being the bus drivers and professionals we see people drive stupid. They do not care for other people's children's lives, because as bus drivers we see and we yell at our kids, you have to watch out for other drivers. You have to watch out for vehicles getting on this bus, even if we are right here on the right side picking you up. You have to watch out. People do not care for your life.
Right, and they don't.
So people
are in too much of a rush to go nowhere.
So they don't care for nobody's lives. So
And the same with this woman. She was in a rush to get nowhere fast. You know, it was a Sunday. She just felt like speeding through the parking lot. And like she said, we're bus drivers. We see this all the time. People are just speeding to get nowhere. And so, I guess we'll pick up from there. So because this is another thing people were asking us about. You know, do we get the information of the driver and all that stuff? So before I left, I quickly took a picture of the driver and I took a picture of her license. Then, as we were leaving, people were arguing with her, and we left. The police officer came to the hospital because the hospital called them there after seeing Gia's injuries. And after they said that they wanted, which is another whole other video, I was upset because I felt like I was. They just talked to the mom, you know, and I'm the one that witnessed it, but they're talking to her and asking her questions. And then they say, well, only one parent can go back with the daughter. Mom, let's go. And I'm like, you know, but like I said, I was already upset, and I was angry over that too. So as they were going back to x-ray, the officer came in to do the report, and he asked me a few questions, and then he was like, hold on a second. So then he called on the radio on his shoulder, and then he waited, and then after I got done with that, he said, yeah, we didn't get any report of this occurring. Mm-hmm. He said, I'm glad you took a picture of her face and her license, because if you just get their license, they can say I wasn't driving the car. So he said it's good that you got a picture of both in her vehicle. So then he said he was upset because he saw how Gia looked and that it was a hit and run. And I said, well, she still was there. We were the ones who had to leave the scene. Excuse me. But he said by law, if you have an accident like that, you are required to call the police to inform them that this occurred, so the police can take a report. That didn't happen. So for him, he said he felt it was a hit and run, because he said, how can someone hit a precious little child like that and then just leave and that's it, you know? So I ended up getting a call back from the officer later on, and he said that the woman did not deviate much from what I said. She just kind of changed her speed, but she said she was probably going 15 miles per hour, maybe more. She could have been speeding. No, she was speeding. She was at
least 20. She was not less than that.
It was about, well,
that
and
was quick.
Yeah, it wasn't just because it was so fast. I want to say about 20, 25 for sure. But it was just like, it wasn't like a boom. You know, it wasn't 15, because we know, because at our compound we have to drive slower on the compound. It is required that because people are walking to their buses, we have to drive slower. It wasn't. I mean, if she was
driving a lot, and we know how it feels like at what speed.
Right, and if she was really driving that slow, even I would have been able to respond. I'd be like, Gia, wait a minute, you know. No, it was just like, boom, and Gia wouldn't have gotten thrown as hard as she did if she was going as slow as she claimed she was going.
Daddy, Jay wants to say bye to you.
Okay, we'll bring it in here. So, you know, it's just been really ugly last few days. No sleep.
Yeah, we gotta fix your shoe. You put it.
I don't even see Jay on there. Oh, there it is.
He's always
so there's Jay on there, of course, playing Fortnite. How did you get the screen at the bottom? I always have it at the top. How did she get it down there?
You can move it. You just
Oh, that's what she did. Okay. So yeah, there's my buddy Jay playing some Fortnite. All right, buddy. Well, we're doing a video right now, but I love you, and I'll talk to you in a little bit, okay?
I told Gia I'll call you her mom later.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, sweetie. I love you, buddy.
I love you too.
All right, babe. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so so after he took the report, after he called me, he said that she didn't deviate from for the most part. She just said that she could have been going, well, she might have should have, most likely was going faster. She didn't know for sure how much faster. But and she said that she was in shock, and that's why she did not call the police officer. But we've already been at the hospital for a while, so I don't think she planned on calling. And that's even what he said. He said, I don't think she planned on calling, when she should have.
Watch your mouth.
So then he gave us, I didn't cuss. So then he gave us the number, what do you call it? Report
number.
the case number, report number. He said that we should use that for a civil suit because of the situation. So then we took care of Jill when she got home, and like she was saying, she was in a lot of pain, and she wasn't just crying. She was like, you know, it was like, I don't know, like that kind of cry where you just want to console her and help her stop crying, but she wouldn't. I think also it was playing back in her mind what happened to her.
Shock and all that.
Yeah, and so it was just, oh man, I know. I just, I don't know. I think the only time I cried was when I went to my van. Because, at the hospital. Because once the doctor said, okay, she's not going to die. She's going to be all right. That's when I said, okay, I'll be right back. I told her I wanted to go out to charge my phone, but really I went out so I could cry. Because I just, it was one of those things where once things started to slow down is when it hit me. And it's one of those things where, you know, we have family members and friends who have lost children. And so in my mind, it kept playing back what we were doing just that day with Gia. You know, photographs that we took that day, you know, and sitting out on the porch, and there's a few times I even cried when I got home looking at her picture and this big old smile on her face, and then now she's going through this. So, you know, it's I don't know. It's still, I'm still tired, you know. But you can see she's healing up. We have an aloe plant. We have actually, those are two, aren't they? Two or three in there. Two aloe plants. And we broke it off, and her face was really bad for a few days, but that aloe plant really is healing it up really good. And we should do the same thing on her foot, because what they gave us at the hospital doesn't seem like it healed it up as fast as that aloe.
Yeah, it broke.
So, I don't know, you know, I wouldn't want to wish this on anybody. Just because my mind just kept flashing back to, we were just enjoying ourselves. We were just laughing. And then, like that happened. And then, of course, it doesn't help when the doctors say, you know what? All it could have been, she could have just stepped out a little bit further, and she would have been in front of the car, which meant she would have been under it, and it could have been fatal. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit. I mean, excuse my French, I don't want to hear that. We're already going through and struggling with what we had witnessed and what we're going through, you know. And now, once I heard that, my mind is like, what would happen, you know? And it makes you like really even more protective of your children, you know. I'm up here talking to my kids, my other children on the phone. I don't know. It's just a lot. So, you know, she got her, what's that thing in?
No.
Yeah, she got this taken off.
Cast taken off.
Her cast taken off today.
But then she has this.
And we're going to
on.
keep it because there's autographs on it. And this is for Gia, you know, so now she got the boot. Now she can walk around, huh?
She's happy.
Yeah. She's happy with that because she was, where's that face? She's happy with that because, you know, yesterday when she was feeling good enough, she wanted to get up and walk around. That's the first thing the doctor asked us. They said, did she want to get up and walk around? If so, that's a good sign. And she wanted to get up and walk around. So, that's my baby. She wanted to get up and walk around. So now she can with that boot on. So she'll be monitored for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Their main concern, they said, was the, what's it called?
Growth plate.
The growth plate. They took an x-ray I don't even know where that went, but
It's hit with the splinter though.
they took an X-ray.
Open the egg. Open the egg. Open the egg. What's in the egg?
So they took an X-ray,
What's in the egg?
and they said this part right here was the part they were concerned about.
What's in the egg?
It's not balanced.
Yeah, it's not balanced.
Egg.
And so that's what they're watching now, because they said it's the growth plate, and that was their main concern. So that's what we're, so now you can see a little better. See how it's crooked. So that's what they're concerned
Let
about.
me look. Auntie, that's mine.
Yeah, that's your foot in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So that's where we're at now. And that is a lot better than where we were. It's also a blessing that she is so young, because her body is healing quickly, and that's a good thing. Like I said, I don't wish it on anybody. The feelings and the just driving to the hospital was just scary, because I'm like, oh, I can't get there fast enough, and it was just right there. So, and see, this is what we were experiencing before the accident. So that's why you really have to appreciate every moment, because you just never know.
So cheers.
And we appreciate everybody who messaged us on Facebook. We appreciate family and friends who contacted us and who came by and visited us. We appreciate all that. Gia appreciated it, because it really put her in good spirits. It put us in good spirits, because we needed that distraction, from just, I don't know, being quiet. We were even quiet with each other. We didn't really talk. We were just more like, man, what happened? I don't know.
It's weird. Weird feeling in the house going on.
Yeah, so it was nice to have visitors. But once she started acting like this, is when you're up there sniffing some fake flowers. Those are the real flowers right here. Yeah, these are what
Grandma and
Auntie and Grandma bought you.
No.
Auntie Susie and Grandma
That's
Nancy.
sunflower.
That's a real flower. These are the fake ones we kicked out of there so we could put the real ones in there.
What are these black things in there?
That's sunflower.
Yeah.
This?
Yeah, that's where the seeds come from. That's where the bees go, and then they eat it, and then they make honey for you.
Right.
Then do this. But
Look,
what if
so many
I-
beautiful flowers. Look.
What if-
Oh, look.
What if I do this?
That's what butterfly do.
Yeah, they make flowers like bumblebees.
Bumblebees, and
Yeah.
then bumblebees goes to the flower and lick it too, and make honey.
Yeah. So, that is a complete story. Yes, we did make a report. That was a common question. We know who did it. The officer contacted me actually while he was standing there at the hospital. He called it in. He says, he looked at his whatever, he looked like he had a tablet or something. And he's like, yeah, we got her. We know who it is. She lives by the Walmart. And so we know who it is. So they got all that. We've got the information. And are we going to proceed with a civil suit? Yes. This could have been prevented. There are, I don't ever speed through parking lights, but like I said, we both are school bus drivers, so we always have that fear of who's going to step out in front of us. We only wish other drivers had that same mentality, because one of those things that when you are trained as a school bus driver, that's a mouse. When you're trained as a school bus driver, the first thing they tell you is, and I actually laughed at this at first, they said, you are going to be trained to be a professional driver. And I'm like, I understand now what that means, because we look at how other people around us drive and we go, that is not proper. We drive for a living. So we are professional drivers.
I dropped one.
So I hope this helped give everyone who was asking about Gia, thank you very much, but give you a better idea and understanding of what occurred and what's going to occur. And we're going to try to get some sleep at some point. Not right now. We have some more visitors coming today. So on that note, everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.